In the year 2000, Enron was the seventh largest company in America, worth almost $70 billion. It was the symbol of a new, brilliant, digital-first economy. They were called America's most innovative company 6 years in a row. 18 months later, Enron was bankrupt. Its stock, worthless. 20,000 employees lost their jobs and their life savings. The company's logo, once a beacon of power, became a symbol of corporate greed and spectacular failure. This isn't just a story of a company that failed. This is the story of a company that lied. A company that built an empire of illusions. This is the Enron Scandal. To understand the scandal, you have to understand the culture. Enron was Houston, Texas. It was bold. It was arrogant. It was rich. At the top sat two men. Ken Lay, the political visionary, the CEO, the man with friends in the White House, and Jeffrey Skilling, the brilliant and ruthless COO. Skilling was the architect. He didn't just want to sell gas and electricity. He wanted to trade everything. Weather, bandwidth, movie futures. If it moved, Skilling believed Enron could create a market for it. And for a time, they did. Enron was the smartest kid in the room, and they made sure everyone knew it. Wall Street loved Enron. Analysts called it a miracle, but there was one tiny problem. Nobody really understood how Enron actually made its money. It was a black box. The public saw rising profits. The reality was staggering, crippling debt. So, how did they hide it? With two devastatingly complex accounting tricks. First was mark-to-market accounting. Normally, if you build a power plant for $500 million, you book the profits as the plant actually makes money over 20 years. But Enron didn't want to wait. Using mark-to-market, Enron would sign a 20-year deal and then claim all 20 years of hypothetical future profits on day one. Instantly, the deal might collapse next year, but in this quarter's report, Enron looked like a genius. They were booking billions in profits that didn't even exist. Second, what about the massive debt from all these failed deals? That is where the real crime began. This part was run by Enron's chief financial officer, the CFO, Andy Fasto. Fasto's job was to make billions in Enron debt simply disappear. His solution? He created hundreds of fake companies. Special Purpose Entities, or SPES. These were shell companies, often run out of a post office box, with names like Raptor or Jedi. Here's the trick. Enron would sell its bad assets and its toxic debt to these fake companies. The debt was gone from Enron's books, hidden, and Enron would even book a fake profit from the sale. It was an accounting mirage. And who owned these fake companies? Andy Fasto, the CFO. He was hiding Enron's debt in companies he owned and paying himself tens of millions of dollars in management fees for doing it. It was pure, unadulterated fraud. But wait, you ask, where were the auditors? Enron's auditor was Arthur Andersen, one of the 5 biggest accounting firms in the world. They were paid $1 million a week by Enron. Their job was to question the books. Instead, they helped cook them. They signed off on Fasto's fake companies. They approved the mark-to-market magic. They were complicit. But inside Enron, one person saw the truth. A vice president named Sharon Watkins. in August 2001. She wrote a now famous anonymous memo to CEO Ken Lay. She wrote, "I am incredibly nervous that we will implode in a wave of accounting scandals." She was ignored. The house of cards was starting to wobble. Jeff Skilling, the visionary, suddenly, abruptly, resigned, citing personal reasons. He saw the iceberg coming. Investors, finally, started asking the hard questions. The stock price, which had peaked at over $90, began to freefall. $80, $60, $30. Enron, finally, was forced to restate its earnings, admitting it had invented $1.2 billion in profits. The panic was instant. The stock collapsed, down to less than $1. On December 2nd, 2001, Enron declared bankruptcy. The seventh largest company in America was gone. The fallout was devastating. 20,000 employees lost their jobs. Their retirement savings, which were all in Enron stock, evaporated. The public was furious. This wasn't a mistake. It was a crime. Andy Fastow, the CFO, was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Jeff Skilling, the CEO, was sentenced to 24 years. Ken Lay, the chairman, died of a heart attack before his sentencing. And Arthur Andersen, the trusted accounting firm, they were found guilty of obstruction of justice for shredding Enron documents, and the 88-year-old company collapsed, losing 85,000 jobs. The Enron scandal was so massive, it led to a new, powerful law, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, forcing CEOs to personally certify that their financial numbers are real. Enron's story is a permanent scar. It's a warning that the smartest guys in the room are often the most dangerous, and that on the ledger, the numbers eventually always have to add up.